What if I told you that one flower grows larger than a bicycle wheel, another heats itself like a living furnace, and another smells so much like a dead animal that insects travel from astonishing distances just to find it? It sounds impossible, but every one of these incredible flowers is real. Scattered across rainforests, wetlands, mountain valleys, and remote jungles, these botanical giants have evolved some of the most astonishing survival strategies ever seen in nature. Some bloom for only a single day. Others wait years, sometimes more than a decade, for just one brief chance to flower. One has no leaves, no stem, and no roots, yet still produces the largest single bloom on Earth. The deeper scientists study these extraordinary plants, the more unbelievable they become. Some trick insects into becoming unwilling pollinators. Others change color overnight. One can even generate its own heat to spread its scent farther through the forest. And here's what makes this countdown even more fascinating. Our number one flower is so enormous, so rare, and so strange that many people refuse to believe it exists until they see it with their own eyes. Before we begin, we'd love to hear from you. Which flower do you think is the largest in the world? Leave your guess in the comments before we reveal the answer. We'll see how many people get it right. If you're fascinated by nature's greatest mysteries and want to discover more incredible documentaries like this, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Your support helps us bring you more amazing stories from the natural world every single week. Now, let's begin our journey with a flower so perfectly symmetrical that many first-time visitors think it can't possibly be real. Number 10. Dinner Plate Dahlia. At first glance, it almost looks too perfect to be real. With blooms reaching nearly 12 inches, or 30 centimeters, across, the Dinner Plate Dahlia is one of the largest ornamental flowers in the world, often growing as wide as an actual dinner plate. Its enormous size and flawless symmetry make many first-time visitors wonder whether they're looking at a real flower or an artist's masterpiece. The story of this giant begins high in the mountains of Mexico, where wild dahlias originally evolved. Over centuries, skilled horticulturists carefully selected and crossbred the largest and healthiest plants, eventually creating the spectacular varieties we see today. Unlike genetically modified plants, these flowers owe their incredible size entirely to traditional breeding and remarkable patience. Look closely, and you'll notice something even more fascinating. Each petal grows in an intricate spiral pattern found throughout nature, creating a bloom so perfectly balanced that it almost appears mathematically designed. Producing a flower this large requires tremendous energy, which is why experienced growers often remove smaller buds, allowing the plant to concentrate all of its resources into one breathtaking blossom. Despite its impressive appearance, the Dinner Plate Dahlia is surprisingly delicate. A single storm, strong wind, or heavy rain can damage petals that took months to develop. Yet compared with the botanical giants still ahead, this magnificent flower is only the beginning. The next entries on our list weren't shaped by gardeners. They became enormous through nature alone, producing blooms so extraordinary that they continue to amaze scientists and visitors alike. Number 9. Southern Magnolia, Magnolia grandiflora. Some flowers impress with their size. Others captivate with their beauty. The Southern Magnolia does both, producing creamy white blossoms that can reach 14 inches or 35 centimeters across. This magnificent tree creates some of the largest and most elegant flowers found in nature. Native to the southeastern United States, the Southern Magnolia has existed for millions of years, making it one of the oldest flowering plant lineages still alive today. In fact, magnolias evolved long before bees became Earth's primary pollinators. Instead of relying on bees, these ancient flowers were originally pollinated by beetles, which explains why their thick, waxy petals are strong enough to withstand crawling insects without being easily damaged. Each enormous blossom opens gradually, revealing a rich, lemon-like fragrance that can drift through the air for surprising distances. While an individual flower usually lasts only about a week, a mature tree can produce hundreds of blooms throughout the flowering season, transforming its glossy green canopy into a breathtaking display visible from far away. But the Southern Magnolia offers more than beauty. After flowering, it develops striking cone-shaped seed pods that split open to reveal brilliant red seeds, attracting birds that help spread the next generation of trees. It's a remarkable survival strategy that has worked for tens of millions of years. Yet even this ancient giant is only warming up our countdown. The flowers still ahead grow in even stranger places, reach even more astonishing sizes, and possess characteristics so unusual that they challenge everything we think a flower should be. Number 8. Giant water lily, Victoria amazonica. Imagine walking through the Amazon rainforest at night and discovering a flower nearly the size of a car tire floating silently on the surface of the water. It sounds like something from a fantasy movie, yet this breathtaking bloom is completely real. The giant water lily produces flowers that can reach 16 inches or 40 centimeters across, making them among the largest aquatic flowers on Earth. Native to the slow-moving rivers and flooded wetlands of the Amazon basin, this remarkable plant is famous not only for its enormous leaves, but also for its extraordinary flowers. Each bloom follows a fascinating two-night transformation. On the first evening, the flower opens in brilliant white, releasing a sweet, pineapple-like fragrance that attracts beetles from surprisingly long distances. The insects crawl inside the flower, where they remain overnight as the petals gently close around them. By the following evening, something incredible happens. The flower reopens, but this time it has changed from pure white to a rich shade of pink. Covered in pollen, the trapped beetles are released to visit another newly opened white flower, completing one of nature's most ingenious pollination strategies. Despite lasting only about 48 hours, every bloom plays a vital role in the survival of the species. But as spectacular as this floating giant may be, the flowers still ahead on our countdown become even larger, stranger, and far more mysterious than anything drifting across the Amazon's waters. Number 7. Giant sunflower, Helianthus annuus. Few flowers are as instantly recognizable as the sunflower, but some varieties grow far beyond what most people have ever seen. Giant sunflowers can produce flower heads measuring 20 inches or 50 centimeters across, standing atop towering stems that often exceed 12 feet or nearly 4 meters in height. When fully grown, they're less like ordinary garden flowers and more like living solar panels reaching toward the sky. Native to North America, sunflowers have been cultivated for thousands of years, long before European settlers arrived. Indigenous peoples valued them not only for their striking appearance, but also as an important source of food, oil, medicine, and natural dyes. Today, through careful breeding, giant varieties have become symbols of both beauty and agricultural achievement. Although the massive bloom appears to be a single flower, it's actually made up of thousands of tiny individual flowers, known as florets, packed tightly together. Each floret has the potential to produce its own seed, meaning a single giant sunflower can generate well over 2,000 seeds in one season. Even more fascinating is the flower's famous spiral pattern, which follows the Fibonacci sequence, a mathematical arrangement found throughout nature that allows seeds to pack together with incredible efficiency. As the young plant grows, its enormous flower head slowly tracks the sun from east to west each day, maximizing the energy it receives. Once mature, however, it permanently faces east, allowing the flower to warm more quickly in the morning and attract pollinating insects earlier than neighboring plants. But despite its towering height and enormous bloom, the giant sunflower is still only a garden giant. The flowers waiting higher on this list evolved in far more extreme environments, growing to astonishing sizes without any help from human cultivation. Number 6. Sacred lotus, Nelumbo nucifera. For more than 2,000 years, the sacred lotus has been admired as a symbol of purity, rebirth, and resilience. But beyond its cultural significance lies a remarkable natural wonder. Its elegant blossoms can reach 14 inches or 35 centimeters across, making them among the largest flowers to emerge from the water. Native to Asia and northern Australia, the sacred lotus grows in quiet lakes, ponds, and slow-moving rivers. Each morning, its enormous flowers rise high above the water on strong stems, creating the illusion that they're floating in midair. Their soft shades of pink and white, combined with a delicate fragrance, have inspired artists, poets, and civilizations for thousands of years. Yet the lotus hides an extraordinary scientific secret. Unlike most flowers, it can regulate its own temperature, keeping the center of the bloom warm even when the surrounding air becomes much cooler. Scientists believe this natural heating system helps attract pollinating insects by creating a comfortable environment and spreading its fragrance more effectively. The leaves are just as fascinating. Their surfaces are covered with microscopic structures that repel water so efficiently that dirt simply rolls away with every raindrop. This phenomenon, now known as the lotus effect, has inspired self-cleaning paints, glass, fabrics, and countless modern technologies. Even more astonishing, lotus seeds have demonstrated an incredible ability to survive through time. Some seeds recovered from ancient lake beds have successfully germinated after being dormant for more than 1,000 years, making them among the longest living seeds ever recorded. But while the sacred lotus is celebrated for its beauty and remarkable biology, the flowers still ahead on our countdown are even more unusual, growing larger, stranger, and in ways that seem almost impossible in the natural world. Number 5. Giant hardy hibiscus, Hibiscus mosquitos. At first glance, it looks almost tropical, but unlike the delicate hibiscus flowers many people associate with warm island climates, the giant hardy hibiscus can survive freezing winters while producing some of the largest blossoms found in North America. Its spectacular flowers can reach 12 inches or 30 centimeters across, making each bloom nearly the size of a dinner plate. Native to wetlands, marshes, and riverbanks across the eastern United States, this remarkable plant thrives in rich, moisture-filled soil where many other flowering species struggle to survive. During summer, it bursts into bloom with enormous flowers in shades of white, pink, red, and deep rose, often featuring a dramatic crimson center that acts like a target, guiding pollinating insects toward its nectar. Although each individual flower lasts for only a single day, the plant continuously produces new buds over several weeks. As one blossom fades, another opens the following morning, creating the illusion of a plant that never stops flowering throughout the season. The giant hardy hibiscus also plays an important ecological role. Its abundant nectar attracts bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds, while its dense foliage provides shelter for countless insects and small wildlife. Despite the enormous size of its blooms, the plant requires no tropical climate, returning year after year even after harsh winters by regrowing from its underground roots. Its ability to combine breathtaking beauty with extraordinary resilience makes it one of nature's most impressive flowering plants. But as stunning as these giant blossoms are, they still can't match the botanical wonders waiting higher on our list, where flowers become even larger, stranger, and unlike anything most people have ever imagined. Number 4. Giant pelican flower, Aristolochia gigantea. At first glance, it doesn't even look like a flower. With its enormous heart-shaped bloom, deep burgundy colors, and long ribbon-like tail, the giant pelican flower resembles something from another planet rather than a plant growing in the rainforest. Its spectacular flowers can grow up to 16 inches or 40 centimeters long, making them among the largest and most unusual blossoms in the world. Native to the tropical forests of Brazil, this climbing vine has evolved one of nature's most ingenious pollination strategies. Instead of attracting insects with sweet fragrances and bright colors, it does exactly the opposite. The flower releases the smell of decaying organic matter, convincing flies that they've discovered the perfect place to lay their eggs. As the insects crawl inside, thousands of tiny, downward-pointing hairs temporarily prevent them from escaping. Trapped for several hours, the flies become coated in pollen while searching for a way out. Once the flower has completed its pollination, those tiny hairs begin to wither, allowing the insects to escape and unknowingly carry the pollen to another bloom. It's a clever biological trap that has evolved over millions of years without harming its unsuspecting visitors. Despite its bizarre appearance and unpleasant scent, the giant pelican flower isn't dangerous to humans. In fact, it's admired by botanical gardens and rare plant collectors around the world for its extraordinary beauty and one-of-a-kind survival strategy. But if you think a flower that imitates the smell of decay is strange, the next three entries take nature's creativity to an entirely different level. From flowers that bloom only once every few years to giants so enormous they seem impossible, the most astonishing blossoms on Earth are still waiting ahead. Number 3. Giant white bird of paradise, Strelitzia nicolai. Imagine standing beneath a plant as tall as a two-story house, only to discover that its enormous white flowers are designed to resemble birds preparing for flight. The giant white bird of paradise is one of the most spectacular flowering plants on Earth, reaching heights of 30 feet or nearly 10 meters, while producing striking flower clusters that can measure up to 20 inches or 50 centimeters across. Native to the coastal forests of South Africa, this remarkable plant thrives in warm climates where sunlight is abundant year-round. Its massive paddle-shaped leaves, which resemble those of banana trees, can stretch more than 6 feet or 2 meters long, creating a dramatic tropical canopy long before the flowers even appear. When the plant finally blooms, thick blue-gray bracts slowly open to reveal brilliant white petals with deep blue and purple accents. Together they form the unmistakable shape of a giant bird lifting its wings, giving the plant its famous name. But this extraordinary design isn't simply for beauty. It plays a crucial role in pollination. Large, nectar-feeding birds land on the sturdy flower to drink its sweet nectar. As they perch, their weight causes the petals to open slightly, dusting the birds with pollen before they fly to the next flower. It's a perfectly engineered partnership between plant and pollinator that has evolved over countless generations. Today, the giant white bird of paradise is cultivated in botanical gardens and tropical landscapes around the world, admired for both its architectural beauty and its incredible flowers. Yet despite its impressive size, it still isn't the largest bloom nature has ever produced. The final two entries on our countdown belong to true botanical giants. Flowers so enormous, so rare, and so unbelievable that they continue to astonish even experienced botanists. Number 2. Titan Arum, Amorphophallus titanum. Imagine waiting 10 years for a flower to bloom, only to have it last for less than 48 hours. That is the extraordinary reality of the Titan Arum, a botanical giant widely recognized as the largest unbranched flower structure or inflorescence on Earth. Towering up to 12 feet or 3.6 meters tall, it easily rises above the average person, creating one of nature's most unforgettable spectacles. Native to the rainforests of western Sumatra, Indonesia, the Titan Arum spends most of its life hidden underground as a massive corm that can weigh over 220 pounds or 100 kilograms. For years, it stores energy in silence before suddenly sending up an enormous flowering structure that grows at an astonishing rate, sometimes several inches in a single day. But its incredible size isn't what attracts the most attention. It's the smell. As the flower reaches full bloom, it releases a powerful odor remarkably similar to rotting flesh. At the same time, the central spike actually generates heat, helping carry the scent farther through the forest. This clever combination convinces carrion beetles and flesh flies that they've discovered a dead animal, drawing them in to pollinate the plant. The bloom lasts only 1 or 2 nights before collapsing, meaning thousands of visitors often line up for hours at botanical gardens around the world just to witness this rare event. Yet astonishing as the Titan Arum may be, it still doesn't hold one remarkable record. The number one flower on our list produces the largest single flower on Earth, a bloom so massive and so bizarre that it has fascinated explorers and scientists for generations. Number 1. Rafflesia arnoldii. Hidden deep within the rainforests of Indonesia, grows a flower so extraordinary that for many people, it hardly seems possible. Rafflesia arnoldii holds the undisputed title of the largest single flower on Earth, producing a bloom that can reach 43 inches, or 110 centimeters, across and weigh more than 24 pounds, or 11 kilograms. Standing beside one is like looking at a giant living sculpture resting on the forest floor. But its incredible size is only the beginning of the mystery. Unlike almost every other flowering plant, Rafflesia has no leaves, no stems, and no roots. It cannot produce its own food through photosynthesis. Instead, it spends nearly its entire life hidden inside the vines of a tropical plant called tetrastigma, surviving as a parasite. For months, sometimes even years, nothing can be seen from the outside. Then, almost without warning, a cabbage-like bud slowly swells before bursting open into one of the most spectacular flowers on the planet. Its deep reddish-orange petals, covered with pale speckles, may look beautiful from a distance, but getting closer reveals its most infamous feature. The flower releases the unmistakable smell of decaying flesh, earning it the nickname corpse flower. That powerful odor attracts carrion flies, which mistake the bloom for a dead animal and unknowingly pollinate it as they search for a place to lay their eggs. Even more remarkable is how rare this giant truly is. A single bloom survives for only 5 to 7 days before collapsing into a dark mass, while many buds never reach maturity. Habitat loss and deforestation have made wild populations increasingly vulnerable, turning every successful bloom into an important event for scientists and conservationists alike. After exploring 10 of the world's biggest flowers, one thing becomes clear. Nature doesn't create giants by accident. Every enormous bloom on this list evolved for a purpose, whether to attract insects, deceive pollinators, or survive in some of Earth's most challenging environments. And among them all, Rafflesia arnoldii stands alone as the ultimate floral giant, proving that sometimes the most unbelievable wonders are not found in imagination, but growing quietly on the floor of a tropical rainforest, waiting for the rare moment when the world's largest flower finally opens. Holds the undisputed title of the largest single rainforest giants. These incredible flowers remind us that nature never stops surprising birds preparing for flight. Some evolve to attract the pollinators with sweet and long ribbon-like tail, while others rely on the smell many of decay. People associate with some bloom for only a single day, rebirth, while others spend years preparing for just a few unforgettable varieties grow far beyond what most people have ever seen. The remarkable story of survival, floating silently on the surface of evolution. The Southern Magnolia does both. So, which of these giant flowers amazed you the most? Dinner Plate Dahlia was it one of the largest Titan Arum, producing a color-changing giant 43 inches, or the unbelievable Rafflesia arnoldii, or in the largest single flower paradise, is one of the most Let us know your favorite in the comments. Pelican flower We'd love to resembles something from another planet. If you enjoyed exploring these incredible natural wonders, cultural don't forget to like this video, remarkable natural subscribe wonder. To the channel. Giant turn on notifications can produce flower so you never miss our next journey. It sounds like something from a fantasy fascinating creamy white blossoms that can reach 14 inches. Flowers Thanks for watching. Often growing as wide as keep 110 centimeters because the greatest wonders on Earth and way more hidden in the places we least expect.